This is Gerald Austin of the Manhattans, and I love listening to Gospel Jazz Connection with D Nice and Miss M.
Gospel Jazz Connection, and we're going to have some music and conversation today. I bet you haven't had that before. It's better than having a glass of wine or having a glass of coffee, because you got three women in the studio just having beautiful conversations today.
Yeah.
So what's going on out there? Miss Sharon Mackey.
Hi, I'm Sharon Mackey, and I am excited to be here in the house again here at KTYM. I'm here with some beautiful people talking about some interesting topics.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. So to my right here, we have
Makita.
Hey, Makita.
Hi, family. I'm so happy to be back in the room. Oh, my God. It's just a blessing to be here, to see old familiar faces that blessed me when I first got to California. I'm just ecstatic to be in this room.
Yes.
I can't wait to talk.
So what have you been doing?
Oh, my God. What haven't I been doing, sis? It's been all about the music, all about God first, all about the music, all about community.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's been nonstop work. So I've been you'll see me from the gospel stage to the jazz stage to the funk stage. I've just been doing all the music, but being the light that the Most High called me to be, no matter what stage I'm on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. So give us one of your titles to one of your most amazing songs in your mind.
I think one of the greatest songs the Most High gave me to write was called No Greater Love.
No greater love. Ooh. Than Him?
That's it.
Than
No
Him?
Greater Love.
Ooh, Jesus.
There's no greater love. And it's really about finding the Him inside of me to make me love the me that He created.
Yes.
And it was I think it was so prophetic but it took a child. That's what was the crazy part. It took.
So he birthed this through a child?
Yes, he birthed this song through a child.
Oh, my.
Because before my firstborn, I didn't care whether I lived or died.
Oh.
So.
Trick of the enemy
Yes.
trying to take you out
Yes,
because he
ma'am.
knew God had great things for
Yes,
you to do.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, ma'am. A lot of times we forget that He knows. He was there before we were placed in our mother's womb. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We really have to remember that.
Well, I'm glad you're still here with
Hallelujah.
us, shining like a star. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, Miss Monica. What has been happening with you? I haven't seen you in a while.
Just
My
busy.
God.
All kinds of things have been going on. I've been going to all these women's conferences. I've been traveling around the country, going to women's conferences. It's so inspiring to go to these conferences when you meet a lot of other women there that are powerful women.
Yeah.
They got their own businesses, their own careers, and they're raising children at the same time.
Yeah.
And some of them are doing two things because they got corporate America going on plus the
Yes.
business.
Yes.
So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Very inspirational. In fact, I went to one today, and it was probably about 700 women there.
700 women.
awesome.
And I
Yes.
bet- So how do they all interact together? Is it like loving, kind? Is it people that feel like they're in trouble? Are they there for self-care? What's going on at these seminars?
Well, what they're
Conferences?
doing there is they're trying to inspire you to do better in your businesses, or if you don't have a business, to get a business, and
Right.
they're there to help you. They have the SBA there to help you with loans for that. They're giving out grants and stuff like that. And you have a lot of women in there that are just talking to each other, and they're helping each other, and they're talking about their journeys that they've had, so you won't have to stumble over the same things that they did. And a lot of them brought their young teenagers with them, so they can start them out. You know, some of them are in college now, but they want to own their own companies. They want to be CEOs. And you know, right now is really a big issue now with diversity. They want to have, especially African American women, opening their own businesses, running their own companies, and in
Beautiful.
corporate America, they want more of us to be vice presidents and presidents, because we can do it.
Yes, we
yeah.
can.
Because if you think about it, we've been doing it for centuries in the home, because we're running the budget, we're running the finances, we're putting people in charge of different things in the house.
Yes.
So we're just doing it on a small scale.
Yeah.
So now they've realized that we can do it on a big scale.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes.
I really enjoy being an entrepreneur
Yeah.
because I like being able to create my own environment, my own atmosphere
Yes.
where I work.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be very challenging though. But I teach this to some of the younger people, the millennials, who were talking about earlier before we came on. Millennials need to understand that they are the CEO of their life.
Yes. Yes.
So it's Makita Incorporated.
There it is.
No matter what. It's Monica
Yes.
Incorporated.
Yes.
It's Sharon Incorporated.
Yes, it is.
Because we have to learn all the ins and outs of
Yes.
business. We have to understand how a business functions.
Yes.
It starts with good credit, right? And it just kind of trickles down to savings and budgeting.
Yes.
And even learning how to get along, especially with other women. So important
Yes.
to be the CEO of your own life.
Yes. That is so very true. Yeah, and just to use wisdom in your choices. I think that was one of the hardest things for me. I was trying to take everybody. And I had a mother pull me to the side and said, baby, God told me to tell you to stop sowing into unfertile ground.
Oh my God. Stop casting your pearls among swine.
Look, that still gives me chills to this day. I think it had to be about 13, 14 years ago when I first incorporated my company, 12 Tribes Musical Empire. And she said, you trying to take everything and everybody, but they ain't ready to go. And if you keep the sin in your camp, it will destroy your victory. Oh, thank you, Mother Barbara.
My God.
I will never forget those words,
Powerful
because when
words.
I learned how to make sure that I prayed about the people that I brought into my camp, that surrounded me, and my career just took flight.
Because everybody's not going where you're going.
I know.
They
But
can't.
I wanted to take them.
Because of the love in your heart.
Yes.
Because of how you feel. But
Yep.
everybody can't go where you're going. God has a perfect purpose and plan already laid out for you.
You are so
for your
right.
life. And they can't go. And I've struggled with the same thing, and I'm sure Monica
Yeah.
has as well. We want to, and I think it's part of the innate quality that women have.
That mama, that nurturer. we're just organically a nurturer, a caregiver, a taker. We
Yes.
naturally put others before ourselves without even thinking that sometimes we are cutting off our nose to spite our face.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about, both of you, how do you feel about the young children coming up today, what they're faced with, how life is in terms of the media, the content, and everything that they're exposed to? How do you feel about that?
Whew. That is so, it's such an overwhelming thing for me. I'm a mother of 5 boys and 1 girl.
Ooh.
So all my children, my baby boy is about to graduate in June, and then I have this one little girl, and I started over. Okay, Lord, that was...
That's a
I
whole
still
other
don't even
conversation.
understand. Yes, but I thank him because I finally got my daughter. But the thing is, it's like I have to really hover over her. I'm like, what are you watching? And it's bothering me to be that. Sometimes I feel like I'm too possessive.
Yeah.
But I got to make sure everything she's pulling up on YouTube is beneficial to her health, spiritually, mentally. That she can learn, that she's learning something, that she's not just pushing and clicking something that is going to be to her demise. Praise God, the boys, I know where all my children are. I'm so
Thank you,
grateful.
Jesus.
I have
Yes.
a wonderful relationship with
Yes.
all my boys. They still say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, because they know they mama crazy. So, it's a beautiful thing. But with my daughter, I'm really praying constantly.
How old is she?
She's 7.
Oh, she's a baby.
She's a baby. My youngest boy is 18 and my baby girl is 7. So I'm like, oh, Father, I need help, because now I got a girl. Me and my boys, I'm just as hard as they are. I grew up like her. I had 5 boys in the house and myself.
Oh, wow.
Before my mother remarried and gave me a sister that's 11 years under. I don't know what's up with me and my mom. But yeah, so that's what happened with us. And so I know how it is to rock with a boy. But now I got this girl. So I'm extra protective. I'm extra prayerful.
You should be. You should be. I do know, though, we have to be a little careful with being overprotective, because what can happen is if we continue to try to protect them and stop them from experiencing the things that we did, and stop them from having the same hurts that we had, we interfere with their destiny.
Yes.
sometimes they have to just learn. And I'm looking at you and I'm talking to you, and I know that you have planted some good seeds into your daughter. You've instilled good values into your daughter. So once that ground is laid, God is going to just raise her up to be exactly what He's called her to be. And we're going to be in prayer about that. That's what He wants us to do, right, Monica?
He sure does.
Yes, He wants us to pray.
That's all we can do is pray about it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
I have 2 boys and 2 girls. My oldest son is 39. I raised him right, but he wound up in prison.
Yeah.
That's for another show, I guess. But so, and then my last 3, they're so good.
Yeah.
So, they're good, upright children. They're in college and they're doing great things. And sometimes you wonder what goes into the blender to make one not do or conform.
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do with peer pressure and the media.
Yes.
What they watch, what they see.
Yes.
I mean, we do need to protect them from some of that.
Yes.
But not all of it, because they need to know how to deal within those arenas.
Yes.
Because if they're too protected, right, they won't be able to function in society the way they need to.
Yes.
Because they haven't experienced or been exposed to
You're so
those
correct.
things.
You're so right. I remember that the Father had to tell me, and I'm so grateful that I can honestly say I have a relationship with our Elohim. I literally, I sit outside, I sit under trees and I talk to Him. And He had to tell me that you are not your children's only influence. You have to stop putting it all on yourself. You have to understand that there are outside influences, because I know I teach my children the way my grandmother taught us. God first.
That's right.
Respect your mother and your father. I don't care what they've done or didn't do. This is a commandment and a law, and it will not change. So these are the things that I did my best with my sons. And I had one, just like you, that ended up he went to jail. And I was like, what? I know I didn't raise you. What in the world? But he had to learn. And now it's like, Mommy, I promise you I'm going to make you proud. I knew it was going to happen. And all I said is, I believe in you no matter what.
No matter what.
I don't care how long. That was my problem. I wanted him to get it right now. But I had to understand that his journey is his journey.
It's his journey.
And I had to respect what you said. The seed had been planted. And I had to trust God enough to know that if I planted the seed, it's up to the Father to harvest it in due season as He continues to water it.
Yes.
I had to trust Him that it would harvest in due season, no matter how long it took. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
So
now.
you have boys.
Yes.
I wanted to know, and maybe our listening audience wants to know, what is it that you did? What did you do with your boys? If you could give a bit of advice to a mother listening, what would you say?
Stay old school. All this new millennium. My kids know I ain't scared of them and I ain't scared of the system. They told me they can call 911. I was like, call them. I can call. They said I can call 911. You can call 911, 2211, every 11 you can find, bruh. They could take better care of you. I'll help you pack your bags.
That's right.
And they looked at me like, for real? Yeah, dog. You want out? Deuces. I'll breathe. I believe in a woman. I believe in them old school days. I'm not afraid of my children.
I do too.
And I have so many of the women that I've seen now. They're scared of their kids. I was in the store. Lord help me. I saw a sister let her child call her out her name, and I said, "He still got teeth.
Okay.
He's still."
Yeah, we don't play that.
No,
we don't play that in my house.
He's still breathing. I said, did that just happen? and the mom in me, you know how when we were kids, the neighbors and the neighbors' mom and their friend, they would, I'll spank your hind parts and sing you to your mama. And so I'm in the store, I'm like, you respect your mother. Don't you ever do that again. In public? Are you crazy? And the mom was looking at me like, wow.
Yeah.
I said, honey, it still takes a village.
It does, because I do that now because I have 11 grandkids.
Yes.
And they act one way at their mom's house, and at my house they know this is grandmother. They can't do that.
They know who to pull that.
And so sometimes my second daughter, she'll tell her daughter, she's like, you go to grandma's house now. Now you can't do those things because she will spank you.
That's right.
And I'm like, yes, because I believe in it just like you do.
Yes.
It didn't hurt me. It didn't damage me.
No.
And I grew up that way. And so I don't understand this, you
Yes.
know, that we can't do anything with our
Yeah.
kids, and these kids are unruly. They
Yes.
totally disrespect their parents.
Yes.
They're calling their moms out of their names.
Yes.
They're kicking and having fits in the store. And I can remember back in the day, my mom would have just pulled the car over. She wouldn't even waited till I got home.
My grandmama say, I'm going to get you where you act up. You want to act up in the store? We gonna
Yes.
handle it in the store.
Yeah.
She didn't play, and my mom was the funny one. Actually, I think my mother was worse than my grandmother, but we spent more time with my grandmother because of course my mom was the one working, and she was a single mother by the time I was like 7. So that's how it went. So we spent a lot of time with grandma. So she didn't play that.
So where do you think all the disrespect is coming from?
The parents are afraid that,
You think it's
that
just
the
a fear?
system is going to take their children. You know, there's a fear. You know, I know coming from where I'm from the East Coast. I'm a Jersey girl, and they would say diapers would come up in here and take, you know, come get your babies. You know, once that stuff started happening, where they allowed it to the children to say they can call a number and say all of these different things against their parents. Parents literally became afraid. And no.
That's funny because I've never been afraid of my children. I have no fear. I have no fear of them coming to get them.
That's it.
I had a similar experience. My son said something to me out of order one day. We were in the car driving down the street, and he said something to me. He's 20 now. And I took off my shoe, right? And this was probably like 15 years ago, I don't know. I took off my shoe and I swung it and barely scratched his arm, little bitty scratch. And he went to see the doctor within a couple of days of that. So the scratch was still on his arm.
Yeah.
And she asked him, what happened to you? He said, oh, my mom hit me with a shoe. That doctor called Children's Services on me. So Mr. White came to my house, knocked on the door, and I said, how can I help you? He said, well, you know, it looks like there's been some child abuse in your home. I said, well, come on in and have a seat. Can I get you some tea?
That's it.
Because if you want to come into my home and tell me that there's been some child abuse going on, you better be ready to talk to me.
Yes.
You want to take my children, you better be
Yes.
ready to take care of my children. And if my children are going to disrespect me, they need to be ready to go.
That's it.
All of that.
That's it.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
And after a conversation with Mr. White, he said, oh, it looks like you have a beautiful home and beautiful children. And, you know, and he looked at my son and said, you need to respect your mother.
There it is.
So if you find the right people that are
Yes.
really trying to help you,
Yes.
I don't believe they'll take your children.
Right.
I think that sometimes people get a little power hungry
Yeah,
and they
that's
want to
true.
exercise that power.
That's
and
true.
taking the children out of the home is not the answer. Because the problem necessarily isn't in the home.
Right.
The problem is outside the home. It's
Yes.
at school.
Yes, it
It's
is.
at the grocery store.
Yes,
it's at
it
the
is.
party. It's
Yep.
where the influence lies.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get so upset when they say, you know, a parent, you guys just aren't good parents. If you were a good parent, your child wouldn't do this. But that's not necessarily the case.
No.
We have so many open outlets for children to go to and see things that are just not right. Our daughters, our girls are looking at the Kardashians. Can I say that?
Yep.
And they're looking at the folks in the media and thinking, I want to be like that.
Right.
I want to look like that.
Right.
I want my butt like that.
Yeah.
I want my nose like that. And it's changing their identity. That is not who God made them to be.
Exactly.
So it can be very problematic. And when you start changing your identity and shifting who you are, it's no wonder you're a mess.
Yes, that's true.
And you talked earlier, and I want to touch on it a little bit, about the shooting in Santa Fe, Texas.
Yeah.
Did you do any research on that? Have you looked into that?
Well, I have family in Texas,
Okay.
and so a cousin made me aware what had happened, and she's also in the educational system, so she knew. It was a devastating call. They know to call me because I don't even turn the news on in my home anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched the news for over 2 years now. I don't turn it on. It had become such a grievance to my spirit. Of course, anytime I turn my phone on, AOL or, of course, you know, Yahoo is going to pop up and say something
it goes right
happened.
into your feed.
So, exactly. So I'll see what's going on in the world. So I'm not oblivious, but I just don't want that atmosphere in my home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when I got that call, I mean, I was like, the first thing my cousin, and she's crying. She was like, it has happened again, and I don't understand. I said, whoa, you're in your emotions. You understand. I said, come on, wait a minute, rewind the tape. Grandma been telling us this stuff was going to go down since we were babies.
The Bible's being
But
fulfilled.
it's not one jot or one tittle. It's going to come back void to him. If he spoke it, it has to go down. So us in our pride, this is what we're reaping right now.
Yeah.
This is man doing his own thing without the Most High. And now we're reaping the benefits of what happens when you walk away from the covering of your father. This is what happens.
So I think it said something like 10 dead.
10 dead, and I think 10 more are injured. Yeah, 10 more are injured, and it was 2 more that were fighting for their lives at this time. That's what it is. Yeah.
Now it seemed like this whole thing stemmed from some movie.
I know.
It said something about 13 Reasons. It was some kind of a movie that came out with 3 guys, and I don't know. They took the movie.
God.
They took the movie out off the air, but. You know, we have to be careful what we allow our children to see, and people don't understand. When you show or expose your children to things,
Yes.
it gets into their spirit, man,
Yes.
and it takes over.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate. And this isn't the first time, and unfortunately, Nikita, it won't be the last.
No, you're right.
It will not be the last, and so we have to stay prayed up. We have to stay in a place of prayer with God,
Yeah.
to trust and believe, not just for our own children,
There it is.
but children
Oh,
across the
babies.
nation,
Yes.
across the countries,
Yes.
because they're in trouble. They're at risk.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're at risk.
This is it. I mean, this is we these are the conversations that a lot of folks don't want to talk about. You know, a lot of folks are staying away from Revelation because they're afraid. I'm not afraid because there's something after this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not afraid of what's happening anymore. I remember being taught. You know, we were scared as kids about the revelation.
Yeah,
and
we
then
were too.
my grandmother had to tell me, "You don't be afraid, honey. No fear. The first thing God tells us is, fear not, be of good courage, for I am with you."
Right, I'm with you.
And I apply that. I don't just hear it. You know, it's like reading the Bible against studying the Bible. You understand? There's a difference.
There's a difference.
So, you know, hearing and applying is 2 different things.
I think Revelation, I mean, to me, the Bible is good because you're able to read it. It's a prophetic word.
Yes, it's alive.
So if you read it,
It's alive, yes.
and if you read it, then you know what to expect.
There it is.
There are no shocking
No
revelations.
blind sides.
It's already there.
That's
and
it.
I think the Bible is one of the most prophetic words that has ever been written or said.
Yes,
People come up to you, girl, I got a prophetic word for you. Like, thank you, I appreciate it. But when you look in the Word of God,
What you say.
the Word of God gives you all prophecy.
There it is.
Everything has already been predestined. We know, and that's why we have a hope for a future.
Yes.
That's why we know where we're going, because the Word
Now you're
says it.
talking.
The Word says
You're
it.
talking.
Okay.
I got peace.
So, yeah. Peace, joy.
Like a
and he
river.
also said there'd be long suffering too.
Right.
You know, we don't want to
Right.
talk about that.
Yeah. We just want to hear the good stuff. We just want the milk and honey. But you got to go through something to get to the milk and honey.
It's so funny because my apostle, he always says to me, he says to us, you know, when he's preaching, he's like, you know, people say the Lord said he wouldn't give you more than you could bear. He said he never really said that. Show me in scripture where that is. And so you also have to be careful who you get up listening to,
Yeah.
who have come up with these traditional slogans.
Right.
Now we understand the content of what it means, but did he really say that?
And people just take that. We can't take sound bites. You know, we can't sound bite the word. Finish it. It says, the Lord thy God will not put more on you than you can bear without an escape.
That's right.
He is our refuge. When he becomes your refuge,
Keep it in
and you
context.
do what he tells you to do, which is cast all your care on him, he is your refuge.
For he cares
I will
for you.
hide. Psalms 91 is my favorite psalm. I will rest in the secret place of the Most High. I will abide under that shadow. He said, if 10,000 fall to the right of me, 5 to the left of me, it will not come nigh my dwelling, because I rest. I finally got that thing.
Yes.
I got it. So when I see it, when I see what's happening throughout the world, I know I have to pray and continue to, I can't act like it doesn't exist. But when we really get back to Psalms 91, when we really get back to resting in Him, all of these things are to draw you closer to the Most High.
Yes.
If we don't get it by now, we'll never get it. It's like, dude, do you understand the reason why any type of devastation has happened? It's because you ran away from your Father. When you run to your Father, you're saved.
You're saved.
So I'm keeping running to Him.
My mother used to say all the time when we were little kids, you know, by the time the end of the world comes, Sharon, everybody's going to have had an opportunity to know God.
There it is.
And so when I see TBN, they're in all these countries. I'm like, okay. Because, you know, when you're little, you're like, how is that going to ever happen? We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But you know what? As I began to look at where we are in all these countries, and how they have the Christ right in their living rooms.
Right.
Girl, it's getting close.
Yes.
Time is winding
Yeah, we
up.
don't understand. We in the thick of it.
He could crack the
I'm
sky.
like, okay, that was Revelation 17. Ooh. It's only a few more chapters after that. Ooh.
and they're over there making peace with Israel. I'm like, okay, when they start signing peace treaties, we got to be careful.
And he said, peace, sudden destruction. As soon as they say peace, be aware. Sudden destruction. Suddenly. That's what we have to know, this word. We have to understand that it is alive, and it is a living vibration, man, and it's going to fulfill itself, because He's not a man that He should lie.
Yes.
You know, and my whole thing is, let every man be a lie, and only the word of God alone be true.
Be true. That's right.
And so that's what I want to rest my head in every day and every night. I need to see, what is my Father saying. And it's like when somebody come up here, girl, I got a prophetic word. It might be a pathetic word. I don't know how pathetic it is.
That's why we have to read for ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people don't read the Bible.
That's it.
They just go to church every Sunday or Saturday, and they listen to somebody feeding it to them. And they're getting all the wrong information because they don't know.
That's it.
And then they come up with slogans and short terms and quick phrases that sound
bites.
cute, sound real cute, but they have no substance to the soul.
Yes.
But that's what He said. He said a lot of people are going to be saying, Lordy, 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 but their hearts were far from Him. They're going to be like, who was you? Oh, I remember you were sitting on that pew over there in the city, but I didn't know you, and you didn't know me.
You work around.
You know, exactly. He's like,
I never knew you.
I never knew you. You know, Lord, look at here. That's the one thing, family. I think, man, there would never be no one that could. Our Lord, I still don't have the words. I tell the Father, if there's anything that I have feared my whole life, is those words being spoken to me. I mean, I'm petrified to this very moment of Him saying, I knew you not.
Yes.
That would devastate me. He wouldn't even have to put me in. I'd jump in the hottest spot. I don't know what to see it. I couldn't believe He said something like that to me. You know what I mean? I can't even live with the thought of Him saying that.
I just back to the children in Santa Fe, and how the enemy creeps in and begins to come to take you out, and we open ourselves up to that. And these children open themselves unknowingly, I'm sure. They open themselves up to that. Not, you have the word. It's in you. I see it. I feel it. I hear you talking. So you have it in you. They never had it in them the way you have it in you. So how do we, as a culture, get this word to these young people so that they understand and that they know that God loves them, and that they have to surrender to Him, all to Him.
Yes.
And that the devil is real. He's not some snake in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
He's real. He's a spirit.
He's standing on two legs.
Yes, and he attaches himself to our children.
Yes, he does.
And through different methods.
Yes, he does.
Different means. He finds a way. He looks at them as an opportunity.
Yes.
And he jumps on them. And, he creates all this havoc in their lives, and they don't even understand it. They're sad, they're worried, they're weak. And then at some point, he takes over and says, go kill these people. Go get your gun, load it up, and kill these people.
We got to get our kids back in church.
Yeah.
Because when I was coming up, we were in church almost every day of the week.
Yeah.
We weren't the perfect kids. Not to say that. And I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid. You know what they always say about that? Praise God, I made it. I survived. But I was in church all the time. I went to church twice on Sunday, sometimes 3.
Yeah.
I was in choir rehearsals in between that because you were always going to be in Sunday school, vacation Bible school, something. And see, now these new mothers, they are sending their children to church. And that's not right, because the parents need to be an example too.
Right.
They need to see their parents going to church and worshiping God with them and teaching them.
Because what good does it do the home to send the child out, get the child full of knowledge and information and knowing of God and coming into the realization of who God is, Jesus Christ, the Savior, Son of the living God, and then you send them back home to drug-infected neighborhoods and families and friends who come in and do these things that are not of God.
Right. My grandfather, he was a preacher in our family. My grandfather, he didn't play. He said, he gave us another revelation on church. He told me that the first sanctuary was our home. He said, your pew is right here in this family room where we're going to congregate and we're going to talk and we're going to be. Because I was that rebel child from at 5, 6 years old. I knew I wanted to sing blues, jazz. I wanted to be Diana Ross. You couldn't tell me my name wasn't Diana Ross. You just couldn't tell me. I wasn't hearing it. I remember laughing with I was laughing with some of my cousins when we first saw the Tina Turner story when she was singing "This Little Light of Mine" and her shoulders was going. That was me in choir. If you don't sit down, little chocolate. I was cutting up. And so grandfather would say, you might just be the only Jesus that someone sees. So how are you going to handle it? And I was like, oh. And grandmama would say, you got to take the good Lord with you no matter where you go.
Everywhere you go.
So at 16, it took her that long to tell me it's okay for me to sing jazz. You know, by then I had fallen in love with Carmen McRae, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan. I was crazy then. I wanted to be in the clubs and the cotton clubs singing then. And so she had to tell me, she said, there's nothing I can do to stop you now. She said, there's nothing I can do to stop you. And she said, and I'm sorry. It was so prophetic because I didn't know within a matter of weeks she was going to have a stroke and end up leaving me. But what she said was, she said, just promise me that God will always get the glory. Promise me that when you look in these scripts, that every decision that you make, if you can't read this here and say, is God pleased with the choices that I'm about to make? If it's no, you shut the door and you walk. And that is what has kept me clean in this music industry for almost 30 years. I did what I promised her, and I did what I promised several great legends in the music industry who hovered over me about keeping God first and not allowing the industry to be my God.
Because that industry will destroy you.
Oh, what?
It will destroy
how many
you.
greats have we lost? They're all gone.
Michael Jackson.
Yes, they're gone.
Whitney Houston.
Gone. And I vowed to never. I'd rather stay on the low, do what I love to do, and follow the laws and statutes that was instilled in me. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not with the cats that's saying the laws don't matter. My God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And if he set laws in the Old Testament, then the laws stand in the so-called New Testament. Because if he was my husband then, all we did was renew our vows again for the new covenant. He's my husband still. I don't understand.
He doesn't waver.
Yeah, I don't understand telling me that the laws don't matter. The laws do matter. The laws are everything. Sin is to transgress the law. So these are the type of conversations I have with these young kids that come into my dressing room or that are about to perform or want to know what's different about me that's not the same about some of the other young ladies that I work with. Mm-hmm. So it's letting your light so shine no matter where you are, because a lot of our babies, like she said, they don't want to go to church.
No, they don't.
They don't want to go. And then we have to deal with judgment. I remember that Monica and Dee were the only people who really took my music, because they said my album cover looked worldly. Now I had just cut all my hair off and I dreaded. Mm. And they didn't want to play the songs because they said the album cover looked worldly. Mm. And I remember telling a DJ, if I didn't know God for myself, you would turn me away. I wouldn't even want to know your God.
Yeah.
But I know him for myself. Mm-hmm. So you
That's
can't
good.
turn me
That's
from him.
Mm-hmm.
But see, there are some people that don't have that mindset. But when they started playing me and playing my music, then I'll be, oh, wait.
What was that?
Well, yeah.
Let me listen to that.
That's that girl, Tiffany Makita. Yeah, that's her. And so it became a thing. It was, wait a minute, play that song again. And it was that song I was telling you about, No Greater Love, is what really got me in, you know. They just were amazing. They were amazing with really putting me in a place, in a space where I would not have had the opportunity because of tradition. I didn't look tradition, I didn't sound tradition.
So what are some of the words on the song? And Dee and Monica, if you guys could find that song and play it.
Oh my God. Do they know how many years ago I gave you that song, you guys?
Do you have it anywhere? No?
No, we'll have to put it on our repertoire.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I would love to hear that, because I haven't heard it.
Yeah, oh man, that song, I'm gonna make sure you get a copy.
Yeah.
That the lyrics were, on the day you found me, I was hurt and so confused. I was dead inside, yet alive, and I didn't know what to do. Until you found me and you chose me.
Wow.
And you showed me what to do. Now there's no greater love than the love I have for you.
Oh yeah, I need that in my
You understand? Because I was done. See, I didn't know whether I was blaming God or not, because my grandma was gone. My world, it just fell apart.
Yeah.
My daddy, who was supposed to be my daddy, wasn't my daddy. And I was like, wait a minute. So now, that's why now I don't even use my last name. It's just Makita. Because I had so many last names as a child. I didn't know who I was.
So it sounds like you were like in a wilderness place. And
Yes.
I talk about the wilderness place as a great place to be, though.
It really is.
It's not a bad place to be.
No.
We all run from the wilderness, but it's a great place to be, because in the wilderness is where you find strength.
Yes.
It's where you find God again. And he can work with your contrite heart.
Yeah.
And he can begin to build and to grow it and to help you get to where you need to be. And a lot of people think, oh my God, I'm in the wilderness. What am I going to do? Be quiet. Just be quiet and listen. Listen to God, because he's talking. And if you're in the wilderness, he knows you're in the wilderness. He knows why you're in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And he also knows how to get you out.
Yes.
So when we're there, be encouraged and know
Yes.
and believe that God is there too.
Yes.
You're not there alone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes it's so hard I've been in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, girl. I've been in the wilderness. Okay, Monica? Have you ever been?
Oh yes. A
in
lot of times we're in
girl,
the wilderness and nobody knows we're in the wilderness because we're good at hiding
we
that.
cover it up. I'm writing a book on that, Behind the Glamour.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Come out from behind the glamour.
That's so true.
With a
Take
little
it
makeup on too.
Turn it off. Yes, Lord. Come on. Ooh, I'm a witness. I know.
Come out from behind the glamour.
That's
and
beautiful.
will the real you stand
Come on.
up?
That's it.
Stand up and
Please.
look at everybody and tell them your testimony.
That's it.
Tell them your story.
Yeah.
Your story
It's necessary.
is so important.
It is necessary.
It is necessary for everybody to
Yeah.
hear. And it's necessary for you to get it out.
Yes.
Spew that story out.
Yep.
Talk about it. Share it.
Yeah, because sometimes they tell us that we as women have to be strong.
You know.
They want us to be strong, and
Yeah.
so they say they put that on us, and so we feel like we can't talk about it
Yeah.
because they'll think we're weak.
And it's quite the opposite.
Right,
when you
right.
tell your story, you
Oh,
gain
yeah.
strength.
Oh, yeah.
When
Yeah.
you tell your story, you're
Yeah.
like, wow, you get it all. You're no longer hiding behind the glamour. You're no longer hiding in the closet.
That's it.
It's out there. Okay, so now what you gonna say
Yeah.
about me?
Yeah.
My God says I'm beautifully and wonderfully
you
made.
say?
So what are you gonna say now?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no story for you to tell, no gossip, because
Right.
it's already out. I put it out there.
There it is.
I did it.
There it is.
So what you gonna do
Yeah,
about it?
yeah, that was
Huh.
me. I was like, she did that. She did that too.
Yeah, yeah.
That was me.
And see, that's a leading example for our daughters when we
Yes.
have daughters too,
Yes.
because they're watching us and they're looking at us and
Yes.
they're emulating what they see.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so funny, you know, you can be in a room full of women, and I was in a room full of women last weekend with Kim Coles.
Okay.
She was doing
I'm
a
supposed
class.
to be there.
Oh, you should have come.
Yeah,
It was
I had to
amazing.
fly out to Florida.
Oh, it was good, but she'll be back.
Yeah.
But you know, we were talking about being molested and you know how you've been violated, and I'm sure you know if everyone in the room were to be honest,
yeah,
so many women have been violated.
yeah, in so many ways.
So many women have been violated, and we don't tell the story, so it keeps happening.
Right.
Because if I tell you the story and I tell my children the story, they're
Right.
going to know the signs.
There it is.
They're going to know how to stay away from it.
There it is.
And possibly protect themselves from it happening.
There it is.
But when I shove it under the rug and I pretend like I'm so perfect,
What you
oh
say?
no, that never happened to me. I'm so wonderful.
That's
and
it.
I don't have to do. No, you need to tell
Yes.
your story
Yes.
so that someone else
Yeah.
won't have to go through it.
The book that I am writing, it's called My Precious Oil, and it made me pull my act right because of my daughter. See, when I had sons, I could deny it. You understand what I mean? When I had sons, I could act like I don't have to deal with this. My boys, what they need that for? You know, my boys know. You know, first of all, I ain't gonna have nothing around you that's gonna touch you like that. And if I did, you know, mama's gonna go ham, you know, but we don't have to worry about that because you guys are boys. And then my daughter came. And it was like, I cannot deny my truth no more because I kept trying to protect folks. I in my brain kept saying, no. You don't say anything. You don't talk about it. Now, the very thing that allowed me to heal, now I wanted to go like this. But the journey wasn't even for me. It wasn't even for me.
Not even for you.
Everything that I had to endure was for my daughter and all these other daughters. It's a village.
true.
They're all our daughters.
That's right.
And we gotta, the only way we can heal is to deal.
Yeah.
We gotta deal with it. If you
deal
don't
with it.
deal with it, you
Expose
will
it.
never heal from it.
Expose it.
Yeah.
Bring
You-
it
Shine the
out.
light. Shine the light. When you shine the light, all the things that God will do. All the
Yeah.
things that God will do. It's mind blowing.
It is.
Yeah. He
And
will fix
we
it.
have to really take a close look at it and remember that it's not about you.
Yeah.
We keep thinking it's all about me. It's,
Nope.
Our journey is not even for us. It's for
No.
somebody else.
That's it.
It is for someone else.
That's it.
And we have to recognize that and stop, you know, covering up and hiding. And,
Yeah.
you know, my mother is 89 years old, and she just started showing early signs of dementia. And I sometimes wonder if dementia, I know it's truly a disease, but it's like I'm watching her and I'm like, all of those secrets. My mother was very private.
My mother too.
Yeah. And I sometimes wonder if
It's a
all those
generational
secrets,
curse.
yes, all in your mind, and you're now just you want to spew it out and you can't.
Right.
And it starts confusing your thoughts, and
Yeah.
I sometimes wonder if it has any relation
Definitely.
to you remembering
Mhm.
because you've been covering things up
Yes.
for so long.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I just don't know.
Yes.
I'm not a doctor, and I don't know the
No.
science on it.
But you're a spiritual being,
Yeah.
you know, and you can discern that it has to be something in the spirit. It has to be something in the spirit.
I know, because a lot of our parents, way back when, they kept a lot of things inside. We had no clue what was going on.
Find yourself.
And we find out things as after they're gone already, or we find out things from our other family members, and we had no clue.
Yeah. That's
I call
very
that the
true.
secret society back then.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many secrets. Like, it was so many secrets. It's crazy.
Oh Lord.
Because I kind of got the gist that in the African American families back then, they were believing that they had to keep family secrets. You can't tell your aunts and your uncles about
Right.
what's going on in your household. This is what goes on in our house,
It
and we're going to
stays in
keep
our
this,
house.
and it's
Yep.
going to stay here
Yes.
because we don't want to be embarrassed by what happened to you.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, we, the children, were the ones that suffered because nothing was handled, nothing was taken care of, even down to girls getting molested by even family members in their home. They kept it contained in the household. Nobody said anything about
Nobody
it.
said anything.
No.
And I think part of it goes back to what I did to start healing, even in my family, is I went back to my mother's mother's mother. And I started there because I could go back that far. And I started to look at, okay, what were they going through? What was happening in their lives?
Right.
Why did they hide it? Well, back in those days, y'all, it was slavery.
Of course.
There were women being taken from their families,
Yes.
from their houses, from their husband, and that were being sexually violated. And so everything was quiet.
Yes.
Even if we talked too loud, they might come and lynch you.
That's it.
If you said too much,
Yes.
they would come and take you from the home and hang you. So I think it became a practice
Yeah.
through the generations
generational
of
curse.
shh,
Yes.
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Hush, they're coming.
Yes.
Shh, put it under the rug. We can't let anybody ever know
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And so once I realized that it was stemming from that thing,
Yeah.
then I was able to better understand it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily approve it in today's world,
Right.
but back then that's what they did to survive.
That's so true.
They had to hush.
Yeah.
Don't talk about
They
it.
really did.
Put it under the rug.
That's a part of it. That's a major part. And then I also believe then it went from that to don't shame me in front of
Don't shame
my
me.
church. Don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't make me look bad in my community. You shut up.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
You know, it went from the enforced slavery to what folks is trying to kill Kanye about, a chosen slavery.
Yeah.
I know, that. I'm not a Kanye fan at all, but I understand a portion of what he said. The portion of what he said was that we are choosing after 400 years to allow ourselves to remain in a place spiritually. The shackles are gone. The noose, we know we still got bigots and everything else around here. They're still hanging and lynching us. We're not oblivious to the truth. But we have to understand where our true freedom lies. For me, true freedom lies is not even being afraid for you to lynch me. I'm not afraid of you to kill me. If it's my sentence, ain't nothing I can do about it. My life has already been written. So if you are the one that my life is going to end, it's already been written, but make sure you kill me when you come now. Don't leave me half dead. Because there is some Peter in here. Okay? Oh Lord. I got Peter. That's my go-to cat. You see, they had to behead Peter because that's my go-to. He was willing to fight for what he believed in, even when he got afraid. Remember, he got afraid. He didn't believe he was going to be afraid, but he was. So for someone to say, I'm not afraid and it'll never happen, you can never say never. That's how I constantly pray. Father, give me that fearlessness of a lion. Give me the strategic movement of a lion. Because I can't say right now, if somebody came in here and said, head on the chopping block. Would I be scared? Would I right now sitting here, I'm like, yo, put my head on the chopping block. But I've never had that happen to me. So I don't know. That's what happened to Peter. He was like, I love you. What? I ain't gonna deny you.
I would never deny you.
And they was like, no, I saw you. Man, I don't know that cat. I don't know that cat. Man, I ain't going out like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He didn't want to go out like that. But
And see, a lot of that flowed into even marriages for our African American people prior to us, because a lot of the women, they stayed in bad marriages where it was awful in the home, but they were embarrassed to let anybody out there know it. So they stayed with these men or these women for 25, 30 years. They were being abused mentally, physically, children being abused. And nobody knew it.
Right. And we are all products of that.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
You know, generationally, we're products of that.
We really are.
And so we have to break the cycle. We have to figure out some kind of way to break the cycle.
Yeah.
And when I say we, I'm talking collectively
we do.
across the board.
Yeah, we do.
Because we're all sisters in Christ and brothers in Christ, and we do have to.
Yeah.
We can't ignore it. When I see it, I do everything I can to try to effectively communicate to the person in need, because it took a long time for it to get like that, and it could take a long time to make the corrections.
Yeah, that's true. It didn't happen overnight to get here, and it's not going to happen overnight to get rid of it. We all got to be willing to put in the work. You know, this is really a marriage.
Yeah,
it really is a marriage. He's our first love, and we really got to work to get back to that place and space that he wanted us in, as in the beginning, before the fall actually happened. That's where he wants us. Back there where he spoke to us, we spoke to him in the cool of the day. Like, what's up, Father? You know what I mean? I want that so bad. I really want that. I always tell him, I want to be your friend, like Moses was. You know what I mean? I want to talk to you like Elijah.
Yes, Lord. Yes, God.
I really want that kind of love and friendship that I had with him.
It's funny because people...
Look what I found.
Oh, is this Nobody Greater?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Okay, let's silence and listen to this. This is Makita singing Nobody Greater.
No greater love.
No greater love.
That's
the love I have for you.
Is that the start?
That was beautiful.
That was the end.
Can we, oh my gosh.
Do it again.
Can we hear that again from the top?
like,
Oh, that'd be a nice way to close out today.
It
That
would.
would be a great way to close out today.
Oh, no one knows this song. That's it. No one knows.
On the day you found me, I was hurt and so confused, dead inside, yet alive, didn't know what to do. But then you found me and chose me, and you showed me what to do. And there's no greater love than the love I have for you. There is no greater love than the love I have for you. You reach the deepest part of me, and there's nothing I wouldn't do. There is no greater love than the love I have for you. Saturated with oil, anointed every word I would say, surrendered my will. That's when you began to heal me and deliver me from all of my ways. 'Cause when you found me, you chose me, and you showed me what to do. And there's no greater love than the love I have for you. greater love than the love I have for you. See, no one can love me like you do. It's so pure, so honest, and so true. Abiding in your love, so my heart will overflow. Oh, you breathe the life back into me. Now everyone will know. No, there is no greater love than the love I have for you. Oh no, you reach the deepest part of me, and there is nothing I wouldn't do. Oh, and there is no greater love than the love I have. No, no greater love than the love I have for you. Oh no, you reached down, found a part of me I never ever knew, and there is no greater love than the love I have for you. It's all about you. See, nobody can love me like you do. All praises to you. There's no greater love, no greater love than the love I have for you.
That was beautiful.
My God. My God. Singer, songwriter Makita. Amazing. God is crying too. God is crying too. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah,
That was
song is
beautiful.
Makita, thank you for doing that song.
Thank you
That is
so
a beautiful
much.
song.
It inspired me just
Yes.
sitting here listening to it.
I'm like, oh Lord.
Singer, songwriter Makita. Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you, Jesus.
thank you so much for having us today. It was an honor to be here.
So good to see
Sitting
you
with
again.
you
Oh,
too.
Makita, thank God
My
for
heart
you.
is so full.
Yes, this was amazing. Monica,
Monica.
Dee, thank you for having us. This has been an amazing show.
Yes.
KTYMmedia.com. We'll see you next Friday at 5 o'clock.
God bless.
Right here on the Gospel Jazz Connection.
Yes.